What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Coffee N KOs YouTube channel. We are instant reacting to another fight. I actually got to look it up. I totally forgot. Cody Garbrandt versus No Love, No Chin. Garbrandt versus Rob Font. And for one, Rob Font, friend of our show. So can't really say anything against him, but no, I really like this fight. I thought originally that Rob Font was going to get TJ Dillashaw. And then obviously with the whole thing that had happened with Aljo and Jan, they're running that back. So that kind of slowed Sandhagen. Sandhagen wanted to fight again. So he's down to fight Dillashaw. So that left Rob Font. And then it was weird too, because I thought Cody Garbrandt was calling for Jose Aldo.
He was.
Which I thought was going to happen from what everyone was making it seem like. But this is a better fight for Garbrandt because Rob Font is ranked 3. So if Garbrandt wins, it gets him right back in the title picture. But I really like Rob Font in this fight. He's a really good boxer. So I think Garbrandt has might have the best pure boxing in all of UFC. Like, his boxing is that good. It's the chin that is the question. And, Rob Font, for me, he has really good boxing and just really good power as well. I think a little bit more crafty of a striker than Garbrandt. So I like Rob Font in this because of his power, and you have Garbrandt's chin that has been in question many times. So, I think it's a good matchup for Rob. I think it's a good fight for both guys because I think if Rob goes out and puts on a really good performance, potential title shot. And I think same goes for Garbrandt.
I think it's more pressure on Rob Font. I think it's a bigger fight for Rob Font because Garbrandt was going to fight for the 125-pound title, and then he was calling for Aldo. I don't know how close that got to happening, but Rob Font, my introduction to him was Matt Schnell, where he KO'd Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell looked all right in his last fight against Tyson Nam. I think he moved back down to 25 after that. Like he should have. But Rob Font is one of the best fighters. Cody Garbrandt, you mentioned Rob Font's power. Cody Garbrandt has some serious power at 135, maybe the most power at 135. It has all the makings of a finish by one of these guys if they both go for it. Font is up there with Cater and those New England cartel boys that you guys have talked to before. And then Cody Garbrandt's always been with Uriah Faber, Andre Feely, those type of guys up there. It depends on if Garbrandt gets emotional. That's what it's always come down to. If he gets emotional in a fight and starts swinging, he usually is not the last one standing. And so if Font hits him with a couple good stuff, because Assunção really didn't touch Garbrandt a whole lot in that fight. So it just depends. When Garbrandt gets hit, if he gets pissed off, then it could be a quick night for him. But if he stays composed and he looks like the old neck tat Cody Garbrandt, the old version, it could be a good win for him and a big stoppage for Cody Garbrandt, sending him to maybe top of 135.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Is every time Garbrandt has lost, it's been, and you said it perfect, it's been emotions. It's not, when he fights a smart fight, I don't know that there's a better, I mean, him and Jan would be electric because both of those guys have such good boxing. Like, Garbrandt, in my opinion, is the best boxer in the UFC. I said that already. I really think that he is that good of a boxer. And the thing I think that he's going to have an advantage on over Font in is the speed advantage. I think his hand speed is so fast too. And he's quick. I mean, he moves his feet well. I mean, how do you, no one's going to ever forget that performance he put against Dominic Cruz. I mean, that is one of the most beautiful forms of boxing that you could see. I mean, the knockdowns, the taunting. I mean, one of the best performances. That is one fight I remember exactly where I was. I know everything because it was just the place that I was at was erupting every time he'd knock down Cruz and taunt. Like, it was one of the greatest performances that sticks to my memory. I'm not going to say ever, but for me, that sticks to my memory. It was a great performance. And then we see him lose to Munoz and we see him lose to Dillashaw. And it's like, what has happened to this guy that he never successfully defended the belt? So, I think everyone is still really high on Garbrandt. He's still really young. The talent is there. As long as he can keep himself composed, like you said, I think he is a legit problem for most people in the division. It's the thing is, though, he's going to get hit. I mean, you're now fighting the best five, best four, the best five guys in that division. You're going to get touched. How can how is he going to react to that? I don't know. I think early on, my pick is going to be Rob Font if I had to make an early prediction, just based on the fact that Font has really good power. He's a much better fighter than Rafael Assunção, and that's nothing against Rafael Assunção. But at this point, Rob Font is a better fighter. And, that knockout that Garbrandt had, one of the best knockouts of last year. Just an absolute incredible knockout. But with Font's power and Cody's chin and, like you said, his emotions, I don't know if I can trust Garbrandt in any fight. Like, I don't think I can. If I'm talking from a betting perspective and I had to put money down on Cody Garbrandt, I would never feel confident. And it's not that his skill set is bad. It's just the strict fact that you don't know what you're going to get from Cody Garbrandt. You're always going to get the fast hand speed. You're always going to get the power. But is he going to have his chin in the air? Is he going to just start throwing punches out of anger? Like, just don't know what you're getting with Cody Garbrandt when he fights.
No, you never know. And he could be well on his way back to a title shot. But, yeah, I do think it's a bigger fight for Rob Font in the situation just because of what Cody had on the horizon potentially. Maybe he has bettered that part of his game, or we'll see if he's still going to be sleeping with the boys. You see the Ultimate Fighter? God, yeah. I love that quote by him. I'm going to say it as many times as I can. It's a banger of a fight. This is one finish. Bet on a finish. But what do you think like the line would be? Because I don't know who would be the favorite. I would guess Rob would be the slimmest of the slimmest favorites.
See, I think it would sway. I think it'd sway to Cody. But minimal. I think it's a super close. I mean, it could even be a pick'em fight.
Yeah, close as it gets.
I think a lot of people still love Cody, man. And I do too. I've always liked Cody Garbrandt. I think it sways to him. When guys are champions, I feel like, or former champions, I feel like they tend to be favored. And now you're having a guy that, I mean, he's coming off a clean knockout of Assunção. Yeah, I think that he would probably close as the favorite. But if he's the favorite, I'm throwing my money on Font in a second. I mean, because I think it's going to be a really close fight. And another that division is shaping out to be very, very good as well. And you can match up any of those top 5 guys, and it's going to be a great fight.
Do you put it on? Give it its own fight night? I think you do that. Give it its own fight night. I think
it is.
Or put it on a stacked pay-per-view card. That's
I think it's the headliner of a fight night.
Okay, I'd like to see a 5-round Cody Garbrandt again. I would like to see that.
And we haven't seen Rob Font 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, does it go that long? Because either way, you have Cody's chin. That could be the issue, or you have Cody that just has the most ridiculous hands that it could sway the other way. I mean, Rob Font is not a guy that really gets finished. So I think it could be a war, but for me, I think it could be like a 2-round war. I don't know. I don't see that fight going 5 rounds.
Yeah, if it is 5, I'm saying no. It's not going the distance.
Yeah, me neither.
Makes it exciting.
Yeah, I think that is almost a guaranteed finish for sure. Anything else to cover this one?
Now it's going to be a good one for the boys. That's going to be a banger, right? Yeah, I'm super. This one of the most, even with all the news we got yesterday, Masvidal, Usman included. This fight gets me, just gets me a little bit more excited than a lot of what was already announced. Because it's different. We weren't expecting this. I don't think a lot of people were expecting Font versus Garbrandt. So
no, I don't think we were.
It's another.
And I think that gets me more excited than Garbrandt Aldo, for sure. I feel like, because Aldo's a guy I love, but I don't think he's making a run back at the belt. I think that this has title implications, and I think with all the fights that were announced today, what's great about them is the fact that there's most of them title implications involved in some way. So I think that's what makes this fight much better than the Aldo fight.
100%.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this instant reaction on the Coffee and KOs YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe, go hit that like button, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Coffee and KOs1. Make sure you give us a follow there. We are recapping. We have the best recap show every Saturday night after all the events. And then we also preview the events on Mondays. Wednesdays, we're dropping interviews for you guys with UFC fighters. We have Tyson Chartier coming out on Wednesday, which is another great interview. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And that's going to do it for this instant reaction from the Coffee and KOs crew.